名簿には竜宮レナ、それから北条聡子、古出理香で。
What, you're gonna bring the little group of girls with you to beat them up? What?
かしこまりました。受けたまわります。
I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. You, prepare to meet your maker!
いいお店だね。
Wow, she got here fast.
制服かいい。レナも着たい。しかもデザートまでおごってもらえるなんて僕は大感激なのです。
ああ、好きなだけ食ってくれ。俺の分なんか気にするな。
ケイイチさん、茶番は結構でございますのよ。要件に入ってほしいですわ。
Rina and Rika-chan put down their forks when Satoku broached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table.
頼む。俺の不甲斐なさを笑ってもいい。力を貸してくれ。
The three of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior.
どうしたのかな。何があったんだろう、太郎。
実はミオンの妹のシオンがこの店でバイト中なんだ。
I didn't really invite you here just to eat sweets. I need your help.
話に聞いてたみーちゃんの妹さんだね。ひょっとしてあれかな、あれかな。似てるね、似てるね。似てるも何も髪を下ろしただけの本人ではありませんの。
I didn't know what to say.
ケイイチがシオンだと言うからシオンなのですよ。いくら双子
Who's this fake
こん
Mion?
なにうり二つになるもんなんですの。
That's just Mion with her hair down.
一卵性ソーセージって言ってね、本当にそっくりの双子ってこともあるんだって。
Rina gave the most plausible explanation, so everyone else was convinced.
納得してもらえたかな。それで本題だ。
I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. Also, how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it.
それはひどいね。しーちゃんかわいそう。しかしそれを助けられないなんてみっともないにも程がありますわよ。
それについては返す言葉がない。
さとこちゃん、負けを認めて助けを求めるのってとっても難しいことなの。ケイイチくんは変なプライドなんかよりしーちゃんを助けることを選んだんだよ。情けないですこと。
Rina's follow-up stung a bit, but I can only be thankful that she understood. Satoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there was no malign intention behind her words.
で、僕たちは何をするですか？
Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika-chan's suggestive silence in kind with my own quiet resolve.
そんなところだと思ってましたわ。
Alright, so I need you guys to distract him while I sucker punch him in the back of the head. Got it?
ケイイチさん一人には少々荷が重すぎますもの。
じゃあ助けてくれるのか。
当然だよケイイチくん。私たちは誰がいじめられても助けに行くよ。
I remembered when I was cornered by those thugs. What Shion had said about the strong feeling of solidarity in Hinamizawa really began to hit home. However, Keiichi Maibara, now is not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight!
すまん、恩に切る。
一人で頑張ったけど歯が立たなくてかわい
Please
そうか
stop.
わいそうです。
Rika-chan gently pat my head for me. But there was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with the strong, dependable feeling of, leave the rest to us.
諸々の都合によりミオンは参戦できないので臨時に俺が指揮を執る。作戦内容はシオンの護衛と敵勢力の殲滅。
敵って誰かな？いっぱいいるのかな？
現時刻以降シオンにちょっかいを出そうとする全個人全勢力を敵と認める。当選規定はなし。報酬は今食ったデザート。質問はあるか？
Are we allowed to stab them with our forks? Everyone had already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clamoring around inside the restaurant, like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her hand.
なんだい、リカちゃん。
手加減は必要ですか？不要に決まってますわ。ミオさんの妹に狼藉を働く輩に手加減なんか不要ですの。いいんですね、ケイチ。
Rika-chan was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. No mercy shall be shown to the otakus. I'm counting on you, Rika-chan.
全責任は俺、前原圭一が取る。蹴散らしてやれ。
よーし、レナも頑張るぞ。
すまん、よろしく頼む。
ケイチさん、そんなに力まなくても大丈夫ですよ。まあご覧あそばせ。ケイチさんがそのパフェを食べ終わる頃にはお掃除は終わってましたよ。
I feel like we're going to like poison their parfaits. That's gonna be the limit of our fighting abilities, is poisoning their food or sticking a needle in it or something.
ではみんな頑張りましょうですよ。ファイトオーです。
ファイト! Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader. But when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat abilities. If all of them combined their strengths to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring.
園崎さん、7番テーブルにデラックスパフェを5つ
It's gonna happen.
あ、はい。
Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort that she didn't have the breathing room to pay attention to her feet.
くっくっく、どうしよう、また来たでござるよ。
Pay attention, the otaku's being evil again.
今度はミーのおズボンにぶっかけさせて一層念入りに吹き吹きしてもらうにより。
It was the same wipey-wipey scheme that had occurred just a short time earlier. This time, another one of them was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack.
圭一よりレナへ。5、6番テーブル付近で待ち伏せだ。レナ、聞こえてるか？
お店の制服かいいね。
Oh no.
お持ち帰り。
Don't get distracted. Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Rena. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rena was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. From a normal person's point of view, it was probably like having a fox guard a henhouse. But when it comes to Rena, things are different.
怪異状態、シンクロ率 120%。勝ったな。
Santo.
あの状態のレナさんには地球上のどんな物理法則も通用しませんわ。
Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, were being targeted by those sleazebags.
今でござるよ。どうし
世界の輝ける明星にして偉大なる創造閣下万歳。
A leg snaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Egads, 3 of them at once? Tap, tap, tap. It happened in an instant. The three fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles. Did you break their legs?
これは何事でござるか。
Rinna teetered into view and gave them a warning. Warning.
おいたはダメなんだよ。ねえだよ。ねえ。レナがお持ち帰りするから。ねえ。
この小娘、奇妙な技を。
The human scum clutched at their bruised ankles as they passed out.
さすがはレナさん。いつ見ても恐ろしいキレですわね。
ああ、絶対的なガードだ。半径2メートル以内で行われるシオンへのあらゆる攻撃をレナは完全なカウンターで粉砕する。
As Shion was making her rounds through the restaurant, there were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands. And nobody notices.
レナよりケイチ君へ。もうしーちゃんにちょっかい出す人はいない
I've killed everyone.
だからもうお持ち帰り。
ケイチよりレナへご苦労だった。引き続き護衛を続けてくれ。それからお持ち帰りは不可。繰り返す。お持ち帰りは不可。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ。見てるだけ。
I guess just looking is fine. That wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who had tried to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching at their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises.
現時刻をもって敵勢力識別を完了。次のフェーズへ移行する。ケイチよりサトコへ。そっちはどうなってる？
さとこですわよ。
She gonna put salt into their parfaits
どうなってるとはひどい言い方でございますわね。
and hot sauce?
ケイチさん、私を誰だと思っておいでですの？
Satoko was in the kitchen. She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chits and their destination, and was now sorting through the freshly made desserts.
ちょっと、さっきから何をしてるの？まあまあ、その崎さ、いいからいいから彼女に任せておいて。それよりもこのオーダー全部一度に行くからお願いね。
The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. All the desserts that had passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once.
かわいいデザートがいっぱい来たよ。
分かってるだろうな。手をつけるのよ。自分の身が大事なら。
Ignore Windows noises for a second, my headphones are dying. See if I can get it. There we go.
わかってるけど。
Certainly, they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They were all works of art that you could enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Satoko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of that fact were the men now stuffing their faces. Huh? Almost right away, they realized that something was wrong.
サトコ、何を混ぜた？塩やタバスコってわけじゃないだろう。
あら、ケイチさんが言ったんですのよ。
Was it laxative or something more diabolical?
手加減無用って。私、こう見えても叩くときは徹底的に叩く性分でございますの。
As she said that, she twirled a dubious vial in her fingers before putting it away smartly into her pouch. The very next day, the restaurant was shut down due to poor business practices,
サトコより
unsanitary conditions.
お客様が行きますわよ。エスコートお願いしますわ。僕にお任せなのです。
Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika-chan anywhere. Where could she be lurking? several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. It was laxative, wasn't it? That restless fidgeting. And that look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling. Written on that placard was the word, restroom. They began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching at their stomachs.
さすがにがっつきすぎたでござるよ。
Ah.
お手洗いはどこでござるか？
Ah.
僕もニャリよ。オープンでなくクローズドの方でござる。ようリプレイ発信ニャリン。おトイレはどこにゃ？見つけたにゃ。緊急発信スクランブルよ。
I felt dirty just thinking about what Satoko probably did to their desserts. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting to the restroom was crammed with about 10 men.
なんとしたことでござるか。
As I peered over to see what was happening, whoa! It seemed that the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench. There was no way to use it in the state. Dang it, Satoko! What a frightening display of power! No, this wasn't Satoko's doing. It was a divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean it up.
これでは妙が出せぬでござる。
どうしたものにゃりんか、毎同士。
It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there was one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that.
こうなっては最後の手段に。
Faced with a moral dilemma, that man had only one other option. Woman's restroom.
さすがに女子トイレはまずいでござらんか。
今日のお客さんに女子はいないにゃりん。コロンブスの卵でにゃりん。はあはあ、背に腹は変えられぬ。
Well, I don't know about this. What a brazen bunch they are. The men, sweat now pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls' room without any hesitation.
みー
There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses, indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. This is all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I should never underestimate you.
これはでござるな。まだ待って。
Mademoiselle?
みー
男子便所がちょっとデンジャラスにゃので、ちょっとおトイレをお借りしたかっただけなのにゃ。にゃー。
Yeah.
みー
でもやっぱりいけないことでござるよな。どうし諸君。
Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way to try and do their business. This was the most they could do after all. If it were a man in full club mode, for example someone like me, they would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. Now what are you going to do? The price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been paid.
お困りなら僕が助けてあげてもいいのです。
片付けどうござる。してその方法は？
お外のトイレを使えばいいのです。ご案内しますですよ。
それは助かるにゃりん。さあ このままじゃ集団って不根満状態にゃりー。
Ew. Rika-chan, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step. In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture.
マドマーゼル、そのトイレはここからどうしてござるか？
すぐに着きますです。
Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant.
ケイチくん、締めだよ。ビシッと言ってね。
おうよ、任せておけ。
I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant.
何のまねでござるか？このでっかワンの非常時に。
悪人ども、この扉から一歩外へ出ることがどういうことになるか。
それはどういう意味にゃ？
ほら、チケットに書いてあるよ。途中退店無効って。どこのおトイレに行くのも自由でございますがね。その扉を一歩でも外へ出たなら二度と戻れません
See,
よ。
I feel like this could backfire and they might just, like, poop on the floor or something. I don't know.
覚えてろ。
そんな怖いこと言う人たちを案内したくないのです。
Everyone panicked as Rika-chan began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off.
本日はご来店誠にありがとうございました。
アイシャルリターン。
Clang clang. The bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them.
ざまあないですわね。楽勝の極みでしたよ。やったね。
Rina and Satoko clapped their hands together.
俺一人じゃ歯が立たねえ連中もメンバー総登場ならまさに一網打尽だな。
この程度の相手なら私たちなら一人でもお相手できましたよ。ケイチさんも少しは腕をお磨き遊ばせ。
I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. Dang it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them.
でもみーちゃんの妹さんを守れて本当によかったね。もうこれでいたずらする悪い人たちは一人もいなくなったよ。
素敵な友人に恵まれたわね、園崎さん。
The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats.
私のためにその
Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen.
わあ、しーちゃんもかわいい。双子なんだね。はう。
Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her.
分かってると思いますけど、園崎さんとても感謝してますよ。私もホールを代表して感謝いたします。
The applause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only the other waitresses, but also the other customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding our efforts. We saved the day, kids. One anime at a time. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return.
おう、お疲れ。守備は上々か？ずいぶん遅かったな。
ごめんなさいなのです。帰りに迷子になってしまって大変だったのです。リカちゃんは変な道を通ることが多いからね。よく迷子になるんだよ。
how did she get lost just guiding people to a nearby toilet?
人間誰にも得手不得手がありましたよ。理科にはそんなの負けないような長所がたくさんありますわ。
それもそうだな。さっきの女子トイレのあの表情、役者だったな。
あの時の圭一はひどいのです。自分が彼らの立場だったら僕を弾き飛ばして女子トイレに飛び込むとか考えていたのです。
また俺、考えが顔に出てたのか。
圭一くん。
いや、そら
It's an annoying laugh that Keiichi does. I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men were taken into custody in Hideyama. The men claimed they had traveled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet, but the spot they were taken into custody was X kilometers away from Shishibone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was.
さてと、ごちそうさまなのでした。今日は呼んでもらえて嬉しかったのです。あら、文句ありますの？もうちょっとゆっくりしても。タンスのお片付けの途中だったのですよ。あのままではお布団が敷けないのです。ああ、それもそうですわね。
Oops. Looks like I called her at a bad time.
レナが電話した時はお部屋の片付け中だったんだよ。でも駆けつけてくれたんだよね。まあ非常時だから仕方ありませんわ。それに甘いものをいっぱいいっぱい食べさせてもらいましたですから、とても喜んでいますよ。
今日はありがとな。急に呼び出しちゃって。
シオンによろしくとお伝えなのです。では失礼しますわ。レナさんはどうぞごゆっくり。そうするね。じゃあね。
Once again, this kinda... It's definitely something to think about, because remember last time when everything started happening in the last chapter, Rika and Satoko weren't part of it, like at all. Like, as far as I know, I don't remember seeing them in any point or really referenced in any way to anything that happened in the ending, or in that, basically the last, I don't know, quarter of the story. So, all we've got left here is Rena and Shion/Mion again. So I wonder if stuff's gonna start happening again soon. Rika and Satoko, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. Be careful of the weebs outside. They'll probably want your autograph or something, I don't know. There's weirdos out there. Don't let them touch you. While Rina and I were having a discussion about the dessert we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee.
あら、ちっちゃい二人は帰っちゃいましたか？
Hearing them called the little ones was so strange, I inadvertently bust out laughing.
なんか片付けの途中だったとかで帰っちゃったよ。
Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people.
先輩に話を聞きました。なんだか私のためにいろいろご迷惑をかけてしまったみたいで。
全然迷惑じゃないよ。他ならぬしーちゃんのピンチだしね。あ、いいよね、しーちゃんで。みーちゃんとお揃いで可愛いかなって。
まあ、どうぞご自由に。
Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rina started talking to her. Rina is pretty sharp about some things, so Shion was probably worried that Rina would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon, and hurried back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the two of us.
レナにそっけなかった。慣れ慣れしい子だと思われちゃったかな。
照れてるだけだよ。
でも本当にそっくりだね。双子ってよりももう一人のみーちゃんみたいな感じ。
She's gonna start digging into this a bit, isn't she?
外見は似てるけど雰囲気っていうか中身は全然違うだろ。そういう双子も面白いと思うけどな。
ケイチ君はそう思う？中身もそっくりだと思うよ。
I think she's gonna start digging into this.